once we got it welded, we slapped the turbo on. I think I only did a bolt or two so I could still do the intercooler piping and stuff. Here's what it looks like after I finished welding. I got it painted, came out really good. Whenever I did the intercooler, you can see I just have the 2 bolts on top. I would like to have some sort of support underneath. I have a few rubber couplers on the car because I want to be able to service it if I need to get into an area, you know, change thermostat, pulley, whatever I had to do. The parts I did weld, I have a solid piece from the turbo all the way to the intercooler. Here's a picture of the rough edge. This is basically how it's going to sit. I did change it a little bit after I put a flex joint in. You'll see that soon. Here's some welds that I did on aluminum. You can see where I burned through really bad. I just could not get aluminum down at first. I kept trying and trying, and it took me a little while to get aluminum down because of how thin I had to do for that intercooler piping. It was cheap Chinese intercooler piping, so the chance of me burning through are very high. I ran, I don't know how many beads. I finally got probably 2 or 3 good beads. I just said, I'm gonna go ahead and go for it. I ran the first beads on the car. I did a test piece on an extra scrap of intercooler piping that I just cut. I did some test pieces on that. They came out good, so I went ahead and rocked with it. And I ended up finishing all the intercooler piping in just one go, where I have my blow-off valve mocked up, cleaned, ready to cut out and weld on. My exhaust is on. It is completely welded. It goes from the turbo underneath the frame up just a hair, and then it goes to a bullhorn. I wish I would have put a V-band on it so I could take that bullhorn off, take it out a lot easier because it is a to feed that entire exhaust because it's one solid piece all the way through the bumper. You can see where I messed up by not putting a hanger or something to support it. I didn't even have a brace on the turbo, and it burned the hell through the bumper.
It's pretty bad.
Let's move on to the wastegate dump, whatever you want to call it. I did want to do, original idea was to do a teardrop for the exhaust, but my practice piece was the wastegate. You won't see it. If I did mess it up, you know, whip-de-doo, it's under the car. Came out really good. Here's where I put my oil drain. I didn't weld it on. I didn't feel like pulling the motor or trying to drop the camera and pull the pan to weld it on, so I just literally drilled and tapped into it. Put a little bit of thread tape on it, and it hasn't leaked a drip. So here's a picture of what I did with my tank. I have 2 Walbro 450s in the tank with a stock bucket, hat, whatever the hell it's called. Did a battery relocate, put it in the trunk because where my intercooler pipe goes through. So the reason I had this flex joint is because I didn't want it solid. I knew there was going to be some kind of flex. I wanted a little bit of playroom. Whenever I put the flex joint on, I took it off and I measured this flex, cut out that section, welded it back. Well, I didn't think about the pipes tweaking. I had lines and everything lined up, but it didn't come out that way. I went to line them up, and they were probably a 1/4 inch off. So I just got done wrapping, making it look all fancy and nice. As you can see, had to cut it all off, put a solid piece of pipe right here, just like this. It kind of made it look ugly, but you know, it is what it is.
It is what it is.
This is the last time I had to take off all that wrap and weld it again. Let's go ahead and get into the videos. So as you can see from this video, there's a black smoke coming out. It was trying to hydrolock the motor because it was getting just straight fuel. Turns out I marked them wrong whenever I took them off. I don't know if I had them marked wrong previously or if they just got mixed up. It was basically running backwards. Kept looking at the coils. I had them marked. I had the coil because I made my own wires. I tucked them under the dash to where you couldn't see any of the coils. I wanted you to see my nice pretty valve covers. I kept checking. I unplugged them, pulled them out, ran them again, and for some reason it just kept messing up. Well, it didn't dawn on me that, maybe I just labeled them wrong. I don't know. I'm pretty sure I labeled them a long time ago, and they've just been that way for a while. This next video, you can see as it's running, I had an issue with, once I finally got it started, it was spitting bad. I had my friend Youngblood, he went through and put a base startup. He helped me out on that one. Took a bunch of fuel out. I figured maybe it was rich. This is before I even knew about the coils. I figured it was rich. Once I get it started, I could hold the throttle on it. It would run a little bit good, and then after about 5-10 seconds, it'd start just bow, 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 squaw! And I mean, it'd do it once or twice. I'd turn it off, adjust the tune. I thought it was the tune the whole time.
I messed up the coils.
Here you can see in this video, this is the first startup of it actually running good. Brandon got that startup tune on point, literally the first try. Big thanks to him. Okay, here's a picture of the engine bay before I put the intercooler piping on. This is how I started. I didn't have a radiator. I didn't have none of that stuff ran yet, so it was just running off running off exhaust fumes. Here's the little rubber trim that I was telling you that Rob showed me. It came out really good. I think this is for window seals. I think it's a door seal. I think it came out and makes it look all professional, Here's the bullhorn. I wanted to do a teardrop, but the way I had my pipes and stuff already, I only bought 2 U-joints, I think, for the exhaust. They're 5-inch, and I mean, it's kind of expensive, so I went ahead and just ran a bullhorn, and once I put it on, I really liked the look, to be honest. I wish I would have put that V-bend on there so I could take that off and then I could fish the exhaust out way easier, but I will eventually. I'll probably end up doing it this run around. I have to put a hanger on anyway because, as you can tell, it burned all the way through. Here's the bumper before I did the cutout, and then here's the bumper after, so the intercooler can get as much airflow as it possibly can. I kept my billet grill in there. I have the, I think it's a 67 or 68, 69 Camaro SS emblem on there. All right, now, going on the first drive. This picture is 1:40 in the morning. I don't know if anyone was at the house yet, but it was just me. I went to back the car out. I had to bleed the brakes because I did an ABS delete. I got rid of all that stuff, put a proportioning valve, made my own line. Well, when it came to bleed the brakes, passenger side rear completely welded on there with rust. It is on there. You cannot bleed them. Finally had my buddy come over. I had my buddy Woody and Youngblood, and we bled the brakes. I found brake line wrenches. I don't know what the hell you call them. Bled the back from the actual closer to the chassis, not on the caliper. Got that fixed. Literally, I pulled out of. We went to 7-Eleven. I rolled into Boost just a little bit. Not even a half a mile into it, I already started making boost noises. I love the sound. I was hooked from that moment on. I knew I was in trouble after that. It just went completely downhill. It went from, making it to where like it'll be a nice cruiser, just literally just spitting fireballs everywhere. It's great. It's great. So here's the video of when we first got to the 7-Eleven. We drove maybe half a mile down the road, check out all the kinks, make sure no leaks, there's no exhaust leaks, everything's working good. I really appreciate Brandon and Jake being there for me just in case, something went wrong. Maybe there's a fire or something. I do have a fire extinguisher. I'll just let the video speak for itself. So. So, after we go to the gas station, make sure the kinks are good, car wash. I haven't washed this car in a long time. I want to make sure it's shining. We're going to get our first videos of it in pitch black. But I want to make sure it's looking good. Here is the first pass. I wasn't making any dig hits. I just went ahead and rolled into it. We went to a local spot. Just started rolling into it. Wanted to get the feel of it. I've never driven a turbo car like this. I've especially never built a turbo car. So I wanted to kind of, feel it out at first. And here you go. Okay, and on these videos, it's actually making maybe 4 pounds of boost. I didn't know you're supposed to tighten all the intercooler piping down. I mean, tight as I tightened it down because I didn't want to crush the aluminum. I guess I had some boost leaks here and there. It was making maybe 4 pounds max, not even 5. And once we finally went through, tightened some of the stuff, I didn't do it on a throttle body. I went to roll into it, and right when it started building boost, it fell on its face, and it was really loud. All you heard was just straight air. I thought I grenaded the motor, but it's still driving under its own power. So I'm like, okay, maybe everything's fine, whatever. Pull it over there. The pipe right off the throttle was just hanging on the side. We got that fixed, tightened everything down, and then it finally started, I think, making 7-8 pounds, because I think it has the 8-pound spring in it. I'm not sure. And it started moving. It took some time getting some street tune. We didn't go on a dyno or anything, so it's all but dyno on the street. I bought a draggy. That way we can actually test times consistently and, have something to go off of. Once we started making boost noises, I was hooked. I drove this car so damn much after this point. I was so happy. Every little chance I can to just turbo made my day. And the fact that it turbo flutters is perfect. I wanted to turbo flutter and I wanted to shoot fireballs. At that point, I didn't care if it was fast. I did this so much as I almost burnt the car down. But now, it's time to get down to business. I want to go fast. I got rid of the 80. I'm putting a glide in it. I want to get down, I was also worried that the turbo would maybe make it too quiet. It wouldn't chop as much. That is not the case. This chops and it sounds so mean. I love the bullhorn. It's completely different because it's shooting up compared to my old exhaust that was just dumped on the ground right underneath the car. Here's one of the, another little gremlin, as my friend gave me shit for. I went to put a new... Alright guys, that's going to wrap up the video. In this next episode, we're going to be doing some testing of the track, shooting some big old fireballs, which turns into almost burning the car down. Me and Youngblood help out Santa on Christmas, and we do an 1/8 mile long burnout with some unexpected guests. As always, we keep it A1 at J1 since day one.